Hi, welcome back to APEA Dog Grooming. Today we are grooming this poodle mix, and his name is Simon. This is the first time I'm grooming Simon, and he was pretty calm. You can see he's quite long. He's a little bit matted, not all the way to the skin, but he's, knotted up. So we are opting to shave him down. That's what the owner wanted. So normally I would try to brush the dog out and then do the shave down just to remove any dead undercoat. But seeing that he is so long and so tangled, I wouldn't want to put him through that. So we're going straight for the shave down. Now I'm using a number 7 FC and I'm using my Andes 5-speed clipper. Now normally a shave down would be with a number 7. You never want to use a number 10 for a regular shave down. You would only use a number 10 in extreme cases, and this is not it, so we are using our number 7. We are using 7 instead of a 10 because a 10 leaves just a tad bit shorter than a 7 would. So a number 10 just exposes the skin so much more than a number 7 would. So again, a number 10 would be only for extremely matted dogs. You can see he's trying to remove the muzzle, and he hasn't shown any aggression yet. But I do muzzle first-time clients just because I don't know them yet and I don't know their behavior. I don't know where they might get iffy, and if you've been following my channel, then you know that I've had a accident happen back in September and I couldn't work most of September because of the accident. I got bit in the face by an old English sheepdog. Yeah, he was pretty huge. And it was our first time together. He was really matted. I had done already the shave down, and we were towel drying. Yeah, I think we were towel drying it when he bit me. I mean, he didn't growl. He didn't, show any signs that he was going to attack. So, I just kept on going, seeing that it was a normal groom, but oh, it wasn't. Since that happened, I made two new rules. I don't do large dogs anymore unless they are my own, or unless, I've done them before and I know that they don't bite. And for new time clients, I muzzle them until I get a feel of what their personality is like. And I know that may upset some people, but it's more of a safety issue for myself because, like I said, in September I didn't work most of September because of the and part of October, I think. Yeah, because of the bites, and I didn't want it to get infected because of all the hair flying around. So yeah, and it did leave a scar. I mean, we are in January now and I still have a scar. So anyways, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you like what you're watching. So I just oiled my blade because it was making some squeaking noises, and I noticed that it squeaks when I use the Cool Care. I think it just removes the oil, even though it says it lubricates the blade. I didn't really notice any squeaking before I used Cool Care. But, since we are doing the rough cut, it doesn't really matter if I get, a little bit of oil from me oiling the blade. It's before the bath anyway, so we're going to get that off with water and soap later on. I'm just trying to get him nice and shaved down as much as I can so that when we bathe him, we won't have any trouble with the drying time, because mats take forever in the dryer, and dogs don't even like the dryer. So can you imagine if you have to stay under there longer because I forgot to, clip away a mat? That would just be horrible for them. So just keep that in mind when doing your own dogs at home. So always check the temperature of your blade when working. The Ultra Edge does heat up faster than a ceramic would. So just, put the blade up against your arm to see if it's hot. If it is hot, you can switch it out for another blade and leave that one to cool while you work with the new one. Or you can cool care it. You could spray it down with some cool care, and that will take care of the heat, because it's a coolant agent, it's a disinfecting agent, and a lubricating agent as well. So another factor that comes into a blade heating up faster than it should is the speed you're working at. If you have your clipper running like at its full speed potential, like if I were using this on the 5 settings, it's a number, since it's a 5-speed clipper, the friction just makes the blade heat up faster. So I'm using a lower a lower speed setting, so that the blade doesn't heat up as fast. Now I did switch out my blade right there because you don't want a clipper burn. That's what it's called when you burn your dog from the blade being too hot. So I would recommend having 2 of each blade at least, so you can switch them out. If you're home grooming, then you can either buy your cool care, or you can just set it aside for a bit and take a break. This way, you're not burning your dog. As you saw there, I have my diffuser on, and I have a little aromatherapy going on. I have it on a lavender essential oil, so that it'll calm both of us down. Aromatherapy is not selective. It's not just for the dog. It also helps you out and keep calm and, manage. Well, I find it helps me manage my time better. Oh, something else I forgot to mention about the blade heating up is that, oh darn it, I just forgot again. Think. Sorry guys, it slipped my mind again. When I started the audio, I knew what it was, and now I just forgot as I was talking. Anyways, we'll come back to it if I remember. Oh, I just remembered. When you're not using the clipper, you want to turn it off. When you don't have it up against the dog's skin, you want to make sure that your clipper is off, because if you leave it on, well then, you're just making it hot and you're not even working. So I like to turn mine off and on while I work. It's just a habit by now. I know it can be a little tedious at the beginning, be like, oh, turn off, oh, turn on, oh, turn off. But, once you get the hang of it, you'll just do it on automatic. And in the long run, it will really help you with time, because since you're not having to switch out your blade every second because you leave it on for like God knows how long, you just turn it off when you're going to turn the dog. You turn it off when you're going to grab something else, or you need to adjust the strap or whatever. When you're not using it, make sure to turn it off. Sorry guys, I know it sounds a little bit repetitive. Just trying to get my point across. Anyways, yeah, so still using the number 7, checking to see if, the blade is getting hot or warm. Warm is fine. It's just when it's hot that it's really a problem. So like I said in past videos, I really like the change that happens in a dog grooming salon. You saw how he came. He was all tangled. He looked like a big hot mess, and he's starting to look really nice and tidied up. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with the head yet because I hadn't gotten that far. All I knew was what I needed to do to the body. And in the end, I think he turned out pretty handsome looking. He, on his head, he didn't really have mats. He was just a little bit tangled, and that was just from his hair being so long. But I haven't heard from him again. I'm not even sure when this was, but it was quite a long time ago, I think. I think it was in October when this happened. Or maybe sooner because I don't even have, like the Halloween decorations on my wall yet. I know I'm pulling like last year's videos, but I have a bunch of videos recorded on on the memory card, so I just thought I would pull those out before I upload the newer ones. So we finally got that mat off of him. You can tell it was pretty tight. Most of him, like I said, he was tangled but not matted except for, that significant one. And for homeowners, for home groomers out there, mats can be painful, especially when they're so tight against the skin. I mean, he's not that kind of an example per se. He's not really that matted, but it still does pull at their skin, and the hair doesn't grow all at the same time as evenly as we think it does. So when one part is growing and growing and growing, and then one part is still a little bit behind, that's when the pulling starts. And you can actually find bruises or some kind of skin irritation underneath matted dogs, and it's from the same thing. And especially if you bathe the dog while it's matted, that's even worse because for most of the time they don't dry completely down, so you're just leaving in moisture between the skin and the hair, and that can cause all sorts of dermatitis. So brush your dogs, don't let them get this long, or if you like them this long, then you have to maintain their coats at home. Or take them to the groomers, if you don't have the time to be brushing your dog every other day, you can always take them once a week to get brushed down completely, So the owner said that they had let their dog get this badly knotted and matted because of the COVID situation, which now that I'm thinking about it, it kinda isn't really the real reason, because I haven't heard from them since, and I've been open since they last came in, so I don't know. Maybe they just don't like taking to their dog to the groomer that often. I don't know. Because they said because of the COVID situation that, the dog grooming salon that they usually went to was closed, so, they couldn't take him there until they found me. That's what they said, but, it's been it's been about like 3 months now, at least, since this groom happened, and they still haven't come in. And he's a poodle mix, so you know he's gonna grow out really fast and get knotted up really easily, just because of the coat type he has. So I'm switching out my blade for a number 10 just so I can do the sanitary trim underneath his armpits, because he has really bad matting under there, and that's just common for a poodle. I know it looks like I'm digging in, but I'm trying to get under the mat, and I'm trying to go in different directions so that I can get that mat, because it was really tight up against his skin. And using a number 7 as I was trying earlier was so much more dangerous than using a number 10. I don't know why I tried it. Sorry guys, I know I keep saying don't use a number 7 for sanitary trims, and then I just went ahead and did it. But just be safe, using number 10. You saw that in the end I opted to go for the safer route, which is this 10 blade, and then I can really dig under there and get in between the skin and the mat, just remove anything. So with the same number 10, I'm going to clear out the ear canal. I'm not going to pluck his ears. I'm going to trim with my number 10 just to leave a little opening so that the ear has airflow. I don't like it when groomers say the ears can breathe. I don't like that saying, because well, ears don't breathe. There's no lungs in ears. So that's a little pet peeve of mine, but it's fine. You just want to clear out the hair so that air can flow in and out and not be obstructed in any way with earwax or hair or anything, because that can cause ear infections. So I am taking my sweet time with this rough cut, and I'm going for the sanitary trim, and the reason is because of the mats he has under there that I don't want to put him through, like I said earlier, I don't want to spend another half hour just drying out the belly because of the mats, and they don't dry as fast as normal hair. Not normal hair, but not tangled hair. So just trying to clear everything that I can before the bath. And this part can actually be very sensitive for them, because the mat is pulling at the skin, and the underbelly and the groin area is very sensitive as it is. And with me just going at it with my clipper is even more bothersome for them. So just trying to take everything off. He's really bad under there. I'm pretty sure he hasn't gotten a sanitary trim before, because the hair wasn't really that short. I know he hasn't been groomed in a long time, but the hair was pretty long. I'm not sure what's going on, or why the other groomer didn't. I don't know. I'm just speaking without knowing, and that's sometimes not okay. So anyways, so I'm switching my blade because that number 10 actually got pretty warm. So I'm using my ceramic now, which I should have done since the beginning, because ceramic always cuts so much more faster, and it gets it almost in one go, just because I guess it's sharper than a Ultra Edge is. And my Ultra Edge is actually newer than my ceramic edge. If you're a professional groomer out there and you're watching this video, let me know what you prefer, ceramic or Ultra Edge. So those mats were really tight right under his belly and groin area. So, I just kind of gave up going at it from the angle I usually do it. So I just ended up pulling the mat and snipping it off with the clipper, making sure not to catch any skin, of course, because wow, they were really tight. And it's just really unhygienic for, you know, your pet to have crusties in their underbelly area. You know, every time they poo or they pee or they lay down, you know, they're getting that everywhere in their fur, and you never want that in your house or in your bed, depending if they sleep with you, you know. So just keep it clean. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and put a thumbs up on this video to keep on watching more videos like this one. I'll be putting up a post on my channel this week just to get to know you guys a little bit better, just to, you know, get to know my audience. You know, are you a professional dog groomer, or are you a home groomer, or you're just a pet owner? There's even people out there that don't even own pets and like watching my videos, so I find that pretty funny. But, you know, let me know. I just switched out my blade to a number 7 again, just to get his chest area and any parts, you know, that I think I missed. And this is a great way to get those very edge pieces that you miss when you're grooming a dog while standing on its 4 legs. Alrighty, so what are we going to do with this head? I'm just, you know, feeling around to see if I can feel any severe mats, and just thinking, oh dear Lord, what am I gonna do? I can't do too big of a head or a round face like I would usually want to do, because his body is shaved. You know, you want to make your body and your head and your tail as proportionate as possible. You can't be doing a big, full, nice, fluffy, round head and then do a complete shave down. You know, it'll look kind of funky, it'll look unbalanced. So you can do it in a smaller version, in a tighter version of, you know, a full head, but it'll just have an awkward look to it. So we're always trying to look for the balance. Let me know if you appreciate the clipper sound in the background. I left it on this time because I didn't have any music or any radio playing in the background, so, you know, I won't be copyrighted. But, you know, some of you guys like hearing the noises, the background noises, and some of you don't, so just asking. Let me know in the comments down below. So as I'm doing the tail, I'm noticing there are some mats in there, and I don't want to be brushing those out. The tail is also very sensitive, so, you know, just gonna clip away the mats. Leave him with a little bit of tail hair at the very tip, but, you know, not too much. You can hear there, right there, when I turn down the speed of my clipper, and, you know, that doesn't really help with the mats, but it does help with the blade getting hot too quickly, like I mentioned earlier. I am posting videos every Saturday if you want to keep up with the videos that I upload. But since this video is about an hour long, and last time it took me about a week to upload, you know, I have really slow uploading time. I don't know why. I guess it's the internet. I'm going to be uploading this as soon as I finish editing, so that by the time it finishes, it's already Saturday again. Because today it's Sunday. And today I'm really taking my sweet time to do this rough cut. I guess I just want to get as much done before the bath. You know, sometimes I do that, sometimes I bathe first. It really depends on the condition that the dog comes in. So again, I'm just wondering what to do with this whole head of hair. And I'm going to make some rough cuts with my scissors. I'm going to trim off a little bit off of the ears, and I'm going to use my clipper on the muzzle because he did have some mats on his muzzle. So that's unfortunate, but oh well. So I do like to keep my workspace as clean as possible. There's always going to be, you know, hair here and there because, well, we are a dog grooming and it'll be unnatural not to have, you know, fur everywhere. But we want to keep as clean as possible so that we can find the things that we are looking for. And I only pull out the things I'm using at that time. And I'm grabbing my long pin slicker brush here, and this long pin slicker brush is a time saver. It is a lifesaver as well. You know, it really helps get those little tiny knots out of the hair. It gets really nice and close up against the skin. You know, it gets so much more hair and things done quicker than a regular slicker brush, just because of the pins being longer than a normal slicker brush. I would use this type of brush to detangle like I'm doing right now, and I would use the regular slicker brush to fluff dry. You don't want to be fluff drying with this long pin slicker brush because I think it's a little too rough to be fluff drying, because since the coat is still wet, you know, the skin is a little bit more exposed. And yeah, you can tell there he had some matting in his cheeks, and you know, just trying to work out what I'm going to do, what's actually salvageable and what's not, what can be salvaged from the mats, and what I really need to clip off. So yeah, we're going in for our scissors, clipping away all of this ear hair. We don't want to be, you know, drying later, because the face is always so much harder to dry than the body because they don't like the dryer on their face. So we're just putting in some snips here and there to get most of the length off. You know, nothing that will, what do you call it? Nothing that will compromise our final cut later. We just want to take off whatever we don't need. And he keeps pulling down on his lead. He has plenty of room on that grooming look, but he keeps pulling his face down and, you know, choking himself. Not like crazy choking himself, but I don't like it when the lead is so tight that, you know, they're pulling down, so I'm always trying to, you know, grab his head and pull it up so he has a more comfortable grooming session with me. So we are grabbing our number, I believe it's a number 7, and we are going to clip around his muzzle, get off all of those mats. Look at that. That's horrible to have on your face. Anyway, yeah, we're just going in with that because we're basically gonna do a normal poodle face, but instead of using a number 10 on the muzzle, we're using a number 7 because a number 10 would just leave a shorter cut, leaving him look more like a girl. I think it just makes him look a little bit more feminine, you know, a little more polished, if you would like to say that. Yeah, and then number 7 leaves a little bit more hair, and it just gives him more of a boyish look without being, you know, completely a poodle face, but we're getting there. Making sure to hold that muzzle nice and tight so that he doesn't try to lick his lips, and he again keeps trying to pull his face away from me. And you know, I have to have a firm handle on his head because if he moves in the wrong direction towards my clipper, that can be very dangerous. So, you know, I know it looked like I'm being rough on the face, but you know, I can't allow him to do what he wants in parts that are dangerous for him. It's for his own safety. So, sorry. So I was checking his card, and Simon isn't really an old dog. He's I guess he's just not used to being groomed and he's not used to being handled, and you know, just he doesn't like me grabbing his face very much. And that's just from him not being accustomed to be taken to the groomers very often. And I say that only because you remember that Sandy video, the Asian fusion pet trim? Sandy was very old. I think she was like 11 or 14 years old. I don't remember. And she was still as a wooden stick. Like, she was still. She was very used to being handled. She was very used to the clippers, to the scissors. She just sat there, and, you know, I did most of her groom while her sitting down because of her age. And, you know, she manages really well. And he's really young, and I guess that's why he's a little fidgety, but, you know, he's a poodle. He should be used to being groomed. Well, not because he's a poodle, but because he's a poodle, his owner should be taking him to the groomers more often to avoid that level of knots and tangles he came in with. Finally, we're at the bathing time now. Wow, that took a hot 34 minutes. Anyway, so we are using our shower nozzle again. I find it to best use it with the number 2 soap setting on it. Not the number 2, sorry. The one before the very last soap setting. Yeah. Because it just dispenses the soap nice and lathery, but not so much that it just completely, you know, goes through your shampoo. and I like it. I like it for small dogs. I like it for, when I do shave downs, that they don't have a lot of hair or that they have really short hair. I find it works nice. For larger breeds or really dense coats, like a cocker maybe, I would use the other type of, it's more of a DIY baiting system. Not this one, the other one. I'll be sure to make a video about that. I realize that I make a lot of DIY sort of things. My DIY blow dryer stand. And then this is actually, this nozzle, this yellow nozzle is made for washing cars. You put in the car shampoo and then you can wash your car. But I adapted it to my hose so I can use it on, for dog grooming. And then I made my other baiting system with a diaphragm motor. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry, I'll make a video about it soon enough. And that just really helps with, larger breeds, denser coats, such as a cocker, even though a cocker spaniel is more of a medium dog, but the coat is so dense that, it's really hard to get water underneath all of that hair. And for larger breeds, it really helps because it feeds off from from a bucket full of water mixed in with shampoo. Oh, well, see, it's that blue bucket right there. I fill it up with water and shampoo, and then I use my motor to pull up the water, and it goes through a nozzle, a hose, a garden nozzle, and it really helps with the water pressure because I don't have a lot of water pressure. Hit that subscribe button so that you can watch more videos like this one. So yeah, I'm more of a do-it-yourself kind of gal. I like to do my own things. Like I mentioned in my other video, I am a one-woman show, and most of the things that need to be done, I do them by myself. So we're giving him a nice rub-a-dub scrub in the tub on his face. Make sure he smells nice and shampooey or clean, I guess. I do use a special shampoo on the face just to get rid of smells, and it actually has a nicer smell than the blue shampoo that I use on my nozzle, and this allows me to, get more up and personal with the dog, make sure that he or she is okay, and by bathing the face separately, it just allows us to have a little more bonding time, and I give them a light massage if they allow it. Sometimes they don't allow it, and that's okay. But he did. He really enjoyed it, I guess, because he was still for, a couple of minutes. Alright, so now that the shampoo has been sitting on the dog for at least 3 to 4 minutes, it's actually done what it needs to be doing. The shampoo molecules are actually grabbing on to the dirt and the debris and the grease and everything that the dog has in its coat. And it is now time to rinse. You always want to rinse twice as much as you have shampooed. It's very important to leave a coat without any shampoo or any product, that isn't supposed to be left in their coat. There are leave-in conditioners and such, but, shampoo isn't supposed to be in their coat. So you always want to make sure you rinse nice and thoroughly because Well, I keep saying this in every video, but you know, you don't want to leave shampoo in the coat, because it's like if you leave shampoo on your hair and then went out in the sun, you know, you'd probably be itching a little. And it's the same thing for them. You don't want to be leaving products that isn't supposed to be in their skin. So rinse, rinse, rinse. Try not to get water in their ears. You know, you can cause ear infections because of the moisture left in the ear. But if you do get water, a little bit of water in their ear canal, I mean, the dog is going to shake his or her head anyway, you know. And when you put in that ear cleaner, it just absorbs the water and bacteria that is left in there. So when the dog shakes, because you know, after an ear clean, most dogs shake that stuff out because they don't like the moisture. I guess dogs are just really smart, you know, they know what's good for them. Anyway, so we are drying now, and we are force drying. However, I am not using a nozzle on him because his coat is really short, thanks to that half-hour rough cut we did on him. So we're just using our velocity dryer on a low speeding. What's wrong with me today? I can't speak correctly. Anyways, we have it on a low setting without a nozzle. And we have our handy dandy stand dryer, DIY hand dryer, stand dryer, and that's actually our heat element. So this force dryer doesn't, you know, have a heat element in it. It's just air. But the stand dryer, that is just, you know, your regular blow dryer, does have heat. So that's gonna help us, you know, get rid of all of that moisture in his coat. And he is allowing me to put a little bit of that force dryer on his head. But we know, you know, you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to cause, you know, the dog to freak out, because most of pets don't like, you know, the dryer on their face. So we are continuing on to our part 2 sanitary trim. This part I would usually do after the blow dry, is begin with the paws, you know, start shaving out those paw pads. And in some of them you will see that he actually had really bad mats inside of his paw pads, and that's so bad, you guys. You know, it's like walking around with like rocks in your shoes. You know, they don't have shoes, their paws are their shoes. So with mats in between the paw pads, I can only imagine how bad that must feel. So we're just getting rid of that with our number 10, and this time I do have my ceramic edge on my blade, and we're just going at the mats in different angles because you know, sometimes the mat needs to be attacked from different angles. And yeah, I was actually reading your comments the other day, and a lady said, I don't remember her username, sorry, said that, you know, for mats you need to turn up the speed setting on your clipper, and I tried that today, and it really helped. You know, you can use a low setting when using a normal haircut, but when dealing with mats, it's best to use a higher speed. And if you have a 2-speed clipper, like the Andes 2-speed AGC, you would use number 2. You know, in my case, I can use the number 5 because I have the 5-speed Andes clipper. I like to show on my channel all types of grooms, not just, you know, really hard, difficult dogs, and also not the really easy, compliant dogs, because most of them aren't like that. You know, most of them aren't all crazy and, you know, won't even let you touch them. And most of them aren't, you know, little angels from heaven, you know, letting you do everything. That's not the case, at least not in my shop. You know, I get a little bit of everything. You saw he did very well with the rough cut, but he's really giving me a hard time with the paw pads. In this case, I can understand it because look at this mat, it's humongous. But, you know, he also gave me a hard time with the nail trim. And I just want to showcase, you know, all types of grooming processes and grooming techniques, I guess, because most of my clients aren't well behaved, and that's okay. Like I said in the other video, it's okay to have an unruly dog. Most of them are, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I just want to show everybody out there that, well, you may not like getting, you know, your nails trimmed, or you may not like me touching your feet, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm sorry. That's the type of groomer I am. I'm not going to be like so crazy and, you know, like harm the dog. But I am willing to do whatever it takes to finalize a groom. And I mean that, you know, within my means, within my capability. You know, I'm not gonna sedate a dog, because first off, I'm not even a vet to be, you know, giving out medicine and sedation and all of that stuff. But I am going to try my hardest to do whatever I can to benefit the health of that dog. Sometimes I've realized over time that sometimes dog grooming is really pleasant and satisfying, and sometimes it can be frustrating, and, you know, you can get pretty irritable when a dog is not listening and it's being really crazy, but, you know, it's part of the job. After we're done with this paw pad shave, we are doing a reclip of the whole body, just because, you know, once the hair is nice and clean and dry, you can see all the parts you missed in the rough cut. But I didn't record that, just, you know, because of my battery. I don't have such a long time to be recording. And even though I didn't record that part, I still came up short with the recording on the head and the tail. So this is about maybe 2 minutes of the head trim, but you know, you get what I mean. And I didn't really do much at this point, just trimmed off the bangs, make sure that he could see, you know, cleaned out the inner eye corners. Sometimes with a clipper, sometimes with scissors. It just depends on what looks better or what works better. And brushing the hair forward with your comb allows you to see that when the dog starts to overgrow a little bit, you still want them to see. So by doing this, you can see that if a dog moves or shakes or whatever, they're still going to be able to see. Right, so let's comb everything up and out of the way. And we can see that he has a very long top knot. So we're just going to go at it with our curved shears. You guys know I'm not the best at scissor work, but I do try my best. Scissor work on a dog is not the same as when cutting human hair. When you cut human hair, you actually hold one section nice and taut so that when you cut, you can get a nice exact snip, right? So when doing dog grooming, it's actually the complete opposite. You kind of comb it, brush it, and then whatever sticks out, just trim it off. So I'm not the best at it, but I do try my best. And whenever I don't, get something that I really like, I just grab my thinning shears and try to blend the scissor marks. Thinning shears aren't really blending shears, but I do use them for the same thing. I don't own some blending shears. I'll be sure to get those as soon as I can so that, I don't leave a dog looking choppy. What I'm doing here is I'm actually trying to separate the top knot from the ear hair so that it doesn't look like a helmet. It looks, like the long silky ear hair and then the nice poofy top knot. I know it's out of the shot right now, but you'll see what in the end pictures. I will be putting some before and after pictures at the very end. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. It just lets me know that you guys enjoy watching my videos. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Happy grooming and stay safe out there. Bye!